exciting episode of My Filipino Adventure. I'm Mike, your American tour guide. And Yna is sitting over here on the couch, being lazy because she thinks it's cold outside. It's really not too cold. It's been a pretty lame winter, actually. But she's not used to it, so she likes to cuddle on the couch when she's... Let's see what she's doing. Say hi.
Hi guys, we miss you guys.
So in this episode, let me get this all set here. We're going to talk about, so you want to marry a Filipino? Huh? Is that what you want? I know we have a lot of viewers, subscribers that constantly ask us questions about where can I do this and how can I do this, and we're happy to answer all those questions. But I just want to kind of give you an overview, and not to discourage anyone, because it's all worth every moment, every second of hard work, all the headaches and nightmares that you're going to run into along the way. It's all worth it in the end. And I think we can say we're finally, right, just about at the end of the process. We still haven't got her official green card, which we're hoping to have any time now. She said a couple weeks, but we're talking about government red tape, so it should come in the mail. I'll be surprised if it comes in 3 weeks, but anyway, that's besides the point. But I just want to kind of go over everything you're going to more than likely need to do to get to the place that we are now. And if you've been following my channel for the last year, I was already halfway through the process when I started my channel up. At least halfway through the process of my process anyway, how I approached it. So, first of all, if you're watching this, and if you're watching other Filipino vloggers, or American, anything on the Philippines, odds are that you're interested in the country, you're interested in the people, and you're interested in maybe seeing if you can find some true happiness with a beautiful Filipina from the Philippines. And a lot of people, viewers and subscribers, have just got the bug or just started exploring it and doing some research. And you know, another big portion of people who have been doing the research for quite a while and really haven't pulled the trigger yet. And then the rest of the people who actually have gone over there or have a Filipina that they're chatting to and they're ready to go over there. So let's kind of go through the process. First of all, you're going to probably want to sign up to one of the dating sites, Asian Dating or Filipina Cupid, I think it's called, or I don't even know anymore what the good ones are, but I know those are the two big ones. And I would say just go ahead and pay the $25 for 1 month, and 1 month is all you're going to need to find 3 or 4 or 5 or as many that you want to chat with. You're going to find a lot more to chat with, but narrow it down to the ones that fit your scope. And then I think a lot of people do is they'll start chatting with them and Skyping with them and Facetiming with them for months and months and months, and then they save up some money, they fly over there, they meet them, and they come back and they start the K1 process. Now that's all fine, but I'm going to say you should probably even take it slower than that and make multiple trips over there. And I think for each of my trips were between 2 and 3 weeks every trip, and I went over there 5 times. And I think that's important to get to know the person, of course, meet their family, and soak in as much culture as you can, because the more you know about the Filipina and their people and their family and their culture, the better that's going to help you when you get them to the United States, and to understand how they became to be this person. It's, you know, everybody's formed by their surroundings. So, and it's tough when they get here too, because a lot of them don't have higher educations. I know that a lot of the province girls don't know how to drive, like my beautiful wife, who starts driving lessons in a couple days. And they feel really dependent on you for everything, and that kind of will make them kind of a little depressed too, because they feel bad that they're always asking you for stuff. They want to do stuff for themselves. So, you know, there's a lot of there's a word I can't think of right now. There's brain fart. I'll come back to it. So let's back up. So where were we? So so then you make your trip over there. You either talking to them for a few months or sometimes a year. Go over there, spend some time. Don't go over there just for a week. Try to go there for as long as you can afford. Now, this is going to be different for everybody. Everyone's got different time schedules. Everybody has different financial situations that allows them. But I'm saying if you can only go for a week or two, try to do that. If you can, squeeze it out twice a year. Go over there, because I think it was my second trip, or a year into our relationship before we even started the K1 process. And our K1 process took about another year before she was here in the States. So that gave us a lot of time. And then I did 3 more trips to the Philippines after we started the K1. So I got to meet her family. I got to cook lechon with her cousins, and I got to explore her barangay, and we got to travel all over, and I got to learn the culture, the ins and the outs, as best I can. I'm not an expert by any means, especially for the vloggers who actually live there. They can tell you a lot more than I can. But these are important for when they come back to the States. The little subtle things of what makes them them. If you can understand it, it makes things go a lot smoother. And like I said, I'm no expert. We've still run across little subtleties here and there that we don't see eye to eye on, because I'm a Western culture and she's an Asian culture, and we have different views on things. So, but if you can learn a lot about that beforehand, it's going to make things run a lot smoother for both of you. What else? I had some whole thing planned out of what else to talk about. But then, okay, so you start the K1 process. Plan for another trip back for when she goes to her interview, because that is, if you can, because that is huge bonus. If you're at the interview with your Filipina at the interview, they just kind of basically, it was a 1, 2, 3. They saw I was there with them. All of our paperwork was in order. It was basically 1 or 2, 3 questions. We were there for, how many questions was it? Like 5 questions maybe? At the K1, it was like maybe 5 questions. I think we stood in front of the guy doing the interview for.
Yeah, 5 questions.
Were we there for 5 minutes in front of that guy?
Yeah.
Maybe 5 minutes.
Very quick.
And we were watching other people, because it's not in a closed office where you go in and have an interview. It's like these little windows, and we could hear other people just getting grilled and grilled and grilled. And they weren't with their, they were just single Filipinas without their spouses. So. Plan some money to travel back for that. It's going to take, and use the time it takes to process the K1 visa, like I said, to make more trips if you can. My last trip to the Philippines was the visit to the embassy, so I made 4 trips before the embassy trip. And so if you can afford it time-wise and financially, you should think about doing that. But use that time of gathering information and getting your K1 visa paperwork, and it's not a short process. It takes months, it took us anyway, months to get all of her paperwork, because she actually had to go back down to Mindanao to get her original birth certificate, and she had to travel to different places to get certain paperwork that she didn't have. If you have it, that's great, but if you don't, you're going to have to get these things, police reports and baptismal records, and she wanted to go to where, Iloilo or somewhere to get high school transcripts, and there's a lot of running around. And my half too, I had to go to Livingston County. I had to go to courthouses to make sure I had all my paper, divorce decrees and stuff like that. So it's a timely process. Use that time, of course, to talk every day and to visit when you can, because it's really important to know where they come from. And then when it's time for the interview, if you can, fly there and be at the interview. Now, we wanted to fly back together to the United States, but it didn't work out that way, which was fine, because they gave her more time to say goodbye to her family and tie up some loose ends, and got me time to, get the house in order and get everything ready for her. So after our interview was where, in May?
Yeah, May.
And then you flew over June 20th. So it gave us probably about a month or so for her to get everything in order, and then to fly over to the United States. And then it doesn't end there. Okay, so you think, All right, so I did all the hard work. I found a Filipina. We talked. We fell in love. I went and visited her at least a few times. We filed all of her paperwork. I went to their interview with her. She all the time and expense to fly her to America, get her set up. Now she's here. You're not done yet. So just be prepared. When I say it's a lot of work, but it's all worth it. But then you have to start all over again. You have 90 days to get married, so there's all that pressure on you to, if she wants like Yna wanted a pretty wedding, not a big wedding, but she wanted a pretty wedding, so we had to get all that in order, file, get her license, find a venue, get the dress, all that stuff. So it was a whole nother, which a wedding could be enough pressure to break someone, just a wedding alone, but on top of everything else that you've just gone through, it's a lot of work. And then on top of that, after you finish your wedding, then you have to file for your adjustment of status, which is your green card, and then you have to, early parole and her early work release. You got to get a social security card. We got her Michigan State ID, and there's all that work to do. And now we're starting on to building our life. Now she's starting driving classes. When she gets that tucked away and gets her permit, we get her a car. Then she can start looking for a job. And so it's a long process. She's very dependent on me at this point. And I think that makes her, like I said, raises her anxiety level. She wants to be a contributing member of the family. So be prepared that you're going to have to, I'm not saying like they're children, but they're like, it's like kind of like having a child when they get here. You have to take them to a brand new country. You have to kind of show them around, show them how things work. They don't drive, so you have to drive them places, and they don't work, so you'll have to, set them up with a bank account and things like that. So it's a lot of work. So when you're thinking about pulling the trigger to going to get to Filipina to bring her back to the United States, just know what you're in for. Just be committed to it. It's a long process. It can be kind of a pricey process. It can cost as much as you want it to cost in a certain sense. But it's all definitely worth it in the end. I've got a beautiful, faithful, loving, caring wife. She likes it here, and I love having her here. And things are just going to get better and better and better. But these last 2 years, which were a lot of work, were also a lot of fun also. The trips to the Philippines, the learning about her and talking to her every day, all that process is both fun and hard work at the same time. So if you're ready for this process, then if you have any questions I can answer, go ahead and put them in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And then ring the bell if you have subscribed to let you know when I post a new video, which I haven't been doing very often. We have a Patreon link below if you'd like to throw a few shekels to help out our channel and watch it grow. And there's also a link to Yna's channel below too. She's got her very own channel. And until next time, as always, babe,
Stay classy.
stay classy.